Hi everyone, welcome to Papa's Workshop. Today we're building a little school desk for the Lakeshore High School, and I've got the logo on the front of this desk. Now this desk is small, it's 32 inches by 16 inches, and I want to show you how I built it today, so let's get started. Okay, this is the desktop that we're making. This is 32 inches by 16 inches wide. And I was trying to get the radius for the round, and this is just too much of a radius. But I think this can is actually going to be perfect. So I'm just going to go ahead and set that there and make my radius to round over these corners. And I'll take this over to the bandsaw now and cut these corners. To cut these corners is easily done on the bandsaw, but just as a matter of choice, if you don't have a bandsaw, you could use a jigsaw equally as well. Now I'm cutting this just on the outside of the line. That way I can take it over to the sander and sand these corners right up to the line and make a perfect corner. Now to cut the back of the cabinet where the logo is going to go, I'm cutting at 28.5 wide, and it's going to be 26.75 inches tall. Now this measurement brings it all the way down to the bottom of the leg. Now if I was building this for myself, I'd probably make that a little bit shorter. But here again, this is what the school wanted. So this is 28.5 by 26.75. And then the next thing I did is I took it over, set it up on the CNC machine to start carving. And this is the same logo that I've used in the past, and it just blew it up larger to be able to fit nicely in the space that I had. For the legs, I'm using a 2x6, and the foot of the leg is going to be 14 inches long, and the height of the 2x6 for the table leg is going to be the 26.75 of an inch. And for this table design, I only need 2 legs. Now while I was cutting out the legs for the desk, I continued on with the carving of this logo. And I'm using 2-stage carving. This is the 1/4 inch bit, and then I switch over to do the detail with a 1/16 of an inch bit. And that goes around and cuts the fine details into all of the logo. Now I wanted to zoom in so you could see a close-up. Now I'm carving this at a 0.06 inch deep, and this is just the detail pass with the 1/16 of an inch bit that comes back and carves and cleans out the pocket, so it's a very crisp, sharp logo. And this will be easy to paint using the straight bit. Now I have the 2 sides cut out. They're 13.25 by the 5 inches. And now I'm setting the drill bit collar to be able to make sure that the drill bit is the proper depth using my Armor Tool pocket hole jig. This has worked out extremely well, and it's very easy to use, and it's easy to get the proper depth for the drill. Now I'm using the vacuum hose this time, and it works extremely well. Not only does it clear out all of the debris and sawdust, but it actually helps hold the wood in place as well. Now what I'm doing, I'm drilling 3 holes along the long side, and on one end I'm drilling just 2 holes. I do not need the pocket holes on the other end. The other thing that I want to point out, the clamping system works extremely well, and it really speeds up the whole operation. Because literally all I need to do, be able to release it It releases the wood. I can make the move, clamp it down, and keep going. This has proven to be a fantastic jig, and I am so glad that I have been able to add this to my shop. The vacuum attachment, if you take a look, you're not seeing any sawdust at all. It is capturing all of the sawdust, and it helps hold the wood in place. And I changed the angle so you could see it a little bit better. And you can also see the depth, and that tells me exactly which screw to be able to use. So nice. Now it's time to assemble this project. And since we're using 3/4 inch plywood, the 1 1/4 screws is what is required to be able to put this together. Now I've marked lines on the tabletop to know exactly where the alignment's going to be, and then I'm just screwing it in, or I should say, my son is helping and he's screwing it into place. Nice to be able to have a helper in the shop, and I'm really glad that he came and helped with the desk. It actually made things go a lot faster as well. Now you can see I'm using 3 pocket hole screws for each of the 2 sides. Once that's done, we're just going to grab the back of the desk and put it in place. Now you can also see that the logo is completely done and it is painted. The rest of the painting will come later. But on this part, we're just going to go ahead and assemble this and put the pocket hole screws to be able to hold the back in place. Now one option that we did not do, I could have put the pocket holes along the top of the back of the desk, but it really is not necessary because the 2x6 legs are going to provide all of the support that's needed for the back of this desk. Okay, I want to start working on the foot of the desk, and the first thing I'm doing is measuring up 2 inches from the bottom. And then next I'm measuring down 3 inches from the top of my 2x6. Now on the back of the 2x6, I drew a line that was 5.5 inches from the back of this, and I'm connecting that line from that point down to my 3-inch line that I had just drawn. Now the last point that I want to mark is coming from the front back 3 inches, and I want to put that 3-inch point right on the line that I had just drawn. Then I'm going to connect that point down to my original 2-inch line that I had drawn, and that's just going to create a little bit of a taper on this front leg. Now while I was doing the layout for the foot, my son was cutting the half lap, and then I'm just going to clean it up with a chisel to be able to make these two fit together perfectly. And the way he did it on the table saw made it where there was very little cleanup that was necessary with the chisel. So good job to him, and again, I appreciate the help. With all the half lap joints done and the tapers cut on the bandsaw and sanded, it's time to glue these half lap joints together. So we're using a lot of glue on both sides of the wood, and then we're just going to put it together, and instead of using the clamps, we're going to use screws to be able to hold it together. Now working as a team, once I got all the glue done, I just passed the bottle over to him. He started gluing the next foot together, and I moved on to the assembly. Now I'm using the T-square to help make sure that everything is square and straight. This is real important for this desk to be able to sit correctly on the floor. With that correctly in place, then I'm just going to take the drill and screw in this joint together to be able to hold it tight. So it's going to have the screws and the glue holding it in place. Now once I had all 4 of the screws done and this leg completed, my son had the other one all ready to go, and all we needed to do was be able to screw in the screws, because he had everything else done. Now I do want to mark the locations so that the screws look the same on both legs, so I took just a moment to do that. and then screwed it in place. And there we go. My son finished up the last one, and this makes for a really nice leg for this desk. And again, we only need 2 of them. So there's the 2 legs completed. Now it's time to go ahead and assemble those. But first, I want to do a little round over on the legs with the trim router. And I'm just using a 1/2 inch round over bit. And this takes just a second to be able to do. And I'm doing all of the sides except for the foot. The bottom piece at the very top doesn't need the round over. This adds just a small bit of a decorative touch, and I think it adds for a nice finish to be able to do this. And of course I'm going to flip it over and do the exact same thing on the other side of both of the legs. So like I said, this takes just a moment to be able to do. Now that we got this little detail done, it's time to be able to paint and go ahead with the final assembly. The wheels that I'm using for this is just a 2-inch wheel, and I think that's going to work out just perfect for this desk. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is put the wheels on, and this is a threaded wheel and it's a 5/16. So I'm going to drill a pilot hole in here, and then I'm going to use a 17/64 drill bit to drill the hole in it to be able to allow me to tap it and screw this in. And to be able to do that, I want this to come back about 1 3/4 inches to right there, and we're going to center it, and that's 1.5 inches, so that's going to be 3/4 of an inch. Right there is going to be my center point. Now I'm going to do that all the way around on all 4 legs. A real quick and easy drill guide is just to notch a piece of wood so that this is 90 degrees, and then you can put the drill bit right up there into it this way, and it will hold at 90 degrees. Have my torque setting set incorrectly, so let's change that, and I'll go ahead and drill the rest of them. Now I've changed over to the 17/64 bit. Put that right there. And there we go, we're ready to tap that one. Now this is the 5/16 tap, and I'm just going to go ahead and put that in here and go ahead and tap the threads. Some people question just how good the threads are in wood, and over the years I have done this on many different projects, and I have found that doing the tap and creating the threads in the wood actually holds extremely well, and I've never had a problem with it. So this is something that you might want to be able to incorporate in your projects, is actually thread the wood and use it for a wide variety of different projects. And just like that, I've got the threads. We'll screw this in now. There we go. That one is done. 3 more. We'll do it just like that, and we'll have this desk finished. Okay, the desk is completely done now. And this was built for the Lakeshore High School, and it is a specific design that they had requested. But this turned out really nice. I think they're going to like it. Hi everyone, thank you for watching my video today. If you like the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and the little bell next to it so you'll be notified on the different videos that I upload. Also check out the videos over here to be able to stay up to date on the happenings in my shop. So again, thank you for watching my videos.